The campus goddess actually fell in love with the sloppy 45-year-old uncle. As a result, she not only rejected An-ning, her own campus heartthrob, but even humiliated herself to confess to the uncle.
私店長のこと好きです。
本当に?
What exactly is the charm of this uncle that he could make the starstruck campus goddess fall head over heels for him? All of this needs to start from not long ago. The girl Xiaoju is a renowned runner on campus. She not only won the championship in national high school competitions, but also broke records multiple times. Originally, her future was bright, but it changed due to an accident during a running training session. Xiaoju accidentally fell, causing her Achilles tendon to rupture. This meant that for a long time she could no longer run. Xiaoju often went to the hospital for follow-up checks to prevent complications. For such a promising athlete, this was undoubtedly a bolt from the blue. Since then, the originally positive Xiaoju lost her direction in life and became completely confused. That day, on the way to the hospital for a follow-up, a heavy rainstorm hit, and Xiaoju had to take shelter in a restaurant. The manager of this restaurant, Jinteng, is a kind-hearted man. The dull little scene outside the window. Jinteng specially gave him a cup of black coffee. Faced with a stranger's kindness, Xiaoju hesitated. Kondo noticed her hesitation and then performed a little magic trick.
きっとすぐやみますよ。
Delicate tenderness like Xiaoju, a ray of sunshine in a gloomy world. Being together with Kondo became Xiaoju's happiest thing. A girl's thoughts are simply so pure. She would write Kondo's name in her books and would deliberately work at his restaurant every day just to see Jinteng. Every day, Xiaoju would fill her work schedule tightly, just to spend a little more time with the one she loves. During work that day, Xiaohui and Xiaoju, who worked part-time together, chatted about gossip. Xiaoju asked him what he thought of the manager.
やだ、店長なんて。だってなんか臭いんだもん。
During the break, Xiaoju saw the manager's shirt left aside and couldn't help but pick it up and smell it. At that moment, Kondo happened to see it.
なんだか今日はタイミングが悪いね。
何が臭いとかは人それぞれだと思います。
That day, a customer happened to drop something, and as a responsible man, Jinteng immediately chased after them. Unfortunately, the customer had already gone far. Without a second thought, Xiaoju picked up the item and gave chase. He ran swiftly, like the wind, and soon caught up with the customer. Kondo showed a pleased smile, but Xiaoju, due to intense exercise, had a relapse of an old illness. Jinteng felt somewhat apologetic and bought a gift the next day to visit her, but ended up meeting her just as she was leaving. The two arranged to meet at a nearby cafe to chat. During their conversation, Jinteng showed concern for Xiaoju's injuries.
この爪が赤いのって怪我のせい？
は？
血の目とか内出血じゃないの？
ただのペディキュアです。
A few simple words made Xiaoju develop a bit more fondness toward the gentle and pure big tree once again. This is when Jinteng asked Xiaoju, "Why do you have to work so far from home?" Xiaoju didn't hide anything and directly contested Jinteng, but Jinteng misunderstood it as affection between friends. On a night of torrential rain, Xiaoju approached the store manager again. "I really like you and I enjoy spending time together with you." With a serious expression, Jinteng finally understood the meaning of the sentence. But he didn't dare to express his opinion because, as a 45-year-old middle-aged man like Li Yi, he really didn't know how to face a 17-year-old girl. The next day, the office atmosphere was a bit delicate. Jinteng, taking advantage of his work, deliberately turned his back to Xiaoju, but still faced Xiaoju's questioning.
あの日私が言ったこと本気ですから。私店長のこと好きなんです。店長は私のことどう思いますか？返事。
Our situation has escalated to such an extent that Jinteng is now unable to avoid addressing it. So he decided to give her an answer on the way to send Xiaoju home. As a result, just as the two got into the car, Xiaoju's pressing questions came again, and Jinteng had to answer.
分かってないんだよ、橘さんは。何にも分かってない。俺なんかとデートでもしてごらんよ。きっと気持ち悪くて。
デートしてくれるんですか？
え？
今、デートしてごらんよって言いましたよね。
During the date, the two went shopping at a bookstore together. Jinteng chose a literary work, while Xiaoju picked a sports magazine. Then they each reminisced about their former dreams. It turns out that Jinteng used to be also an aspiring writer. He chose the book that was precisely a work by his college classmate. When the summer festival was approaching, Xiaoju and his best friend encountered Jingtun, who came to the festival with his child. Seeing Xiaoju and Jingken's close relationship, Xiaowu believed that it was due to Jingken's influence that Xiaoju was drifting away from the club, resulting in an argument between Xiaowu and Xiaoju. The next day, Xiaoju was also distracted at work because of this. Kondo invited Xiaoju to a restaurant outside. They talked about their respective best friends, and Xiaoju felt that she and Xiaowu could no longer be as close as before. Jinteng used his relationships with friends to encourage Xiaoju, telling her that as long as she doesn't give up, she will achieve her goals. A few days later, a special customer came to the store named Greasy. She came to invite Xiaoju to rejoin the track team. It turned out that she had once been discouraged due to an injury, but seeing Xiaoju sprinting like the wind on the field reignited her fierce fighting spirit. Through relentless effort, he has now matched Xiaoju's record. The thing he wanted to do most was to compete with Xiaoju, but Xiaoju refused him without even thinking about it. Their conversation was overheard by Jingteng. Looking at the busy work schedule in the office, Jingteng was somewhat worried and advised Xiaoju that if she has something she wants to do, one should act boldly without planning work so desperately. On the surface, Xiaoju claimed he had nothing he wanted to do, but clearly he was affected by this. Upon returning home that evening, he asked his mother to dispose of his old sports equipment. That day, Kondo took sick leave, and Xiaoliang informed Xiaoju in the office. Jinteng's thoughtful care. After listening, Xiaoju, despite harboring feelings, rushed to Jinteng's house. Jinteng continued to encourage Xiaoju, saying that whenever he sees Xiaoju, he thinks of his own past dreams. He hopes Xiaoju can work hard to pursue his own dreams.
立花さんは恋愛だけじゃなくて本当にやりたいこととか楽しいこととかあるんじゃないのかな
After a long all-night talk with Jinteng, Xiaoju finally understood. After sending Xiaotie home, Jinteng picked up his pen again to continue chasing his former dream of becoming a writer. On a morning several days later, the two of them met again, intently watching Xiaoju lead the team during the marathon run. With a satisfied smile, he stopped the car and watched Xiaoju from a distance. Xiaoju understood and walked towards Jinteng. He shouted to Jinteng, "We are friends, right?" Jinteng nodded in agreement, using this gentle way. After she rejected Aunt Xiaoju's request, Xiaoju realized that continuing their relationship was no longer feasible. Controlling her emotions and holding back her tears, she calmly stated,
私、店長と
This film is titled The Path and the Stop of Love. Many people are moved by the romance between the uncle and the high school girl, but what struck me most was Xiaoju's attitude towards love. This is the final step in happiness. In today's generation of love, everyone is worth learning from.